Hey, y'all. I'm live, Mom.
Hello.
I didn't have it turned to you.
Oh,
I wish you... Oh, that's my dad.
Hello.
Let me get just a paper towel, Larry, please.
He made some spaghetti.
That's good. It don't have to be a lot. Thank you.
My dad did. Okay, so...
You put turkey in there?
Y'all know it's story time with Sharon. First thing I want to know is who was all... Oh, thank you. You said they love sticky.
Oh.
First of all, I want to know who was in the chat, the live chat I did where I was talking about how I was going to tell the story about my mom closing down the Akeela and the B set. Ooh.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, so we have a couple of people that was in here.
And that's a little tartar sauce and a little Thousand Island, just a little bit. The shrimp was pretty good.
Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. The one about my dad's jaw. When I told y'all about that accident he had. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we have some... I'm eating... This is what I'm eating. Some shrimp and some spaghetti.
It's very Chicago. Fish and chicken.
Okay, well,
spaghetti.
I'm going to get right into it with Sharon.
Oh, my God.
I wish that you was in this frame.
I can sit behind you. I'm
No.
done. I'm taking a break.
Yes? Okay.
If I sit behind you, let me know if it's too dark. I don't care about lighting, though. Y'all be
Yeah. So right here, Mama. Get back in your spot, girl.
All right. Here I am. You can see me now. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you guys, one thing I need to let y'all know about my mom is she doesn't play about her kids, okay?
Oh, my goodness.
I feel like you guys probably already know that she doesn't play about her kids, but she doesn't play about her kids. Like, I think I told a little bit of a story where when I was a kid, my sister was like not really doing that good in school. Like, she's very smart, but she just kind of like was letting her schoolwork and stuff pile up. And then, my mom ended up doing a science project with her. And my mom did the science project, like they felt like it was good, everything like that. Then the following week, it comes back 0%. And my mom's like, yo, what's going on? Like, there's no way that my daughter could be getting like 0%. Like, I did the homework with her. That's not possible. So, make a long story short, my mom tries to like get in contact and like try to be professional about everything with the school, but they weren't really giving her a lot of feedback. Now, this is a private school that we went to, so it was a Catholic private school. I grew up Catholic, and my mom was just having a really hard problem with everybody at the school. So she got to the point where my daughter is failing, and no one's answering me in enough time. My mom literally comes up to the school, goes into the classroom that my sister's in, and starts cussing the teacher out. She flips open the teacher's desk, and she says, "This right here is the problem." When she flips open the teacher's desk, the teacher has like everybody's assignments everywhere. Like, it's a complete and utter mess and disarray. And my mom's like, "This is why you can't find no goddamn homework. This is why, because you're not organized. You a goddamn teacher, right? So teach." And walked out. No. Yes, Mom, that's right. Because literally all the kids in the school was going around saying, "You a teacher, teach." Like, it became a phrase in the school.
Wait a minute. That part did happen. But the setup is all wrong. So I did do this assignment with L'Oreal, and it was 50% of her grade. And as a former teacher myself,
Miss Trina here.
As a former teacher myself, I think that's ridiculous. For you to tell a student, this is going to be 50% of your grade. I've always thought that was lazy teaching. So I was like, well, if this teacher is going to give you 50% of your grade to do this one project, well, we're going to do a great project. So I sat there, we did the project together, and she lost it. The teacher gave her a 0 and said, I lost it. What kind of teacher is this? How can you lose your student's project and then give them a 0? So like Keke said, I was trying to be kind of chill.
She cursed out the priest.
Well, but that was like a month afterwards. I tried to be very kind of chill because, like I said, I teach myself. So I went and I called. I was like, look, L'Oreal did this project because I did it with her. So I know she turned it in. I did that for a couple of weeks. And the principal, which is the principal's job, is to stick by their teacher. So the principal was kind of like, well, she said that it didn't get turned in. And I said, but I'm trying to tell you, it was a big science project. How do you lose a science project? And so that went on for a couple of weeks. So on the third week, I just got tired of the runaround. And I went up to the school and I stood at the door of the teacher. And she just really ignored me like,
now,
you know,
first, I want to just tell them this. First of all, Illinois, for anybody that lives here or that is knows well about the Midwest, it can still be very segregated. There is a lot of sometimes tension and stuff like that. Like, I was the only black kid in my class. And so I will want to just give you kind of a little bit of that feedback of just the kind of like the tone of a lot of this, you know, her as a black mom coming to this private school.
Well, yeah, probably they thought I was, I don't know what they thought, because I never really deal with what other people think of me.
Period, poo.
Because I love myself. But, and I'm sure maybe my confidence sometimes could rub people the wrong way and make them think I'm arrogant. But
you was standing at the door.
Arrogant. I was raised in a family to believe that you are something, that you are worthy, that God has put given you just as much as he's given anyone else.
Okay, my story.
But anyway, to make a long story short, I stood at the door and she was just rude. And L'Oreal had told me that she was rude. So it was kind of like me, weeks of calling with no response. Her saying she gets a 0, 50% of your grade.
Hey, Tasha.
This is ridiculous. So finally I went there and she was rude. So then I just walked in. And keep in mind, y'all, I was like 28, 29. I was young, very young.
Now, Mom, you're reaching with that. You were like 30-something. You had me at 26.
Young.
You had me at 26.
You was about 5, Keke. How old were you?
Mama,
anyway.
If you had me at 26, you was definitely in your 30s.
Okay.
You just tried to pull back.
I certainly wasn't the age I am now. But then, anyway, I went in and I stood by her desk. And this woman's desk was just horrible. It was like papers falling off. Like she was like, this nasty. For a teacher, for her desk to be just, it was in total disarray. And that's just the first thing that I thought when I saw her. I was like, hey, Frank, you lost my daughter's project and your desk is a mess. You are a mess. And then I don't know what I said after that. I could have.
She cursed her out. She cursed her out. Remember. What up, MTV? Okay, so pretty much that was just to give you guys an idea of how far Sharon will go for all of her kids. It's like, it's the end of the road. Like, she will not stop when it comes to her kids. So I just want to give you that little tidbit. Yeah. Now, what I promised you all was a story about how I did Akeela and the Bee and the day on set in which my mom closed the entire set down. Okay? Now, what happened was you know, on sets and stuff like that, you have to do homeschooling. You know, you have to get homeschooled on sets. But the problem with Akeela and the Bee is, like, okay, so let me explain it. When you get homeschooled on sets, you have to get a mandatory 3 hours of schooling a day. What you do sometimes when a movie is predominantly child-driven is you bank time. So the kid does not only 3 hours, but they do 6 hours of schooling a day. So then you can take over those extra 3 hours and attribute them to the other days that they might get a minimum of, I think, an hour and a half. What's the minimum? It's like an hour and some change, I think. Like, it's like the minimum of school they can get is like
it might be
almost
an
2
hour,
hours.
But basically you have to meet that weekly requirement. Mm-hmm. So some days you get more school than others, but the concept is you should get school every day.
Yeah. So my mom, you know, obviously she was, you know, paying attention to all this stuff like that. And she knew all the rules and understood the SAG abilities that she had. And she knew what, you know, she could demand. And so everything was fine going with school so far as that she had thought. Until she started to realize that because I was the main actor in the movie, my name being Akeela and it being Akeela and the Bee, I was in more scenes than, I think the only movie that was more scenes, the only other movie where a child was almost in practically every scene of the movie was Eve's Bayou.
Right.
And so they needed a lot of time with me. And my mom started to see that they weren't giving me the time that I needed for school. And, you know, my mom just started to trip out because I think, was this the time that I told you that the teacher was trying to give me the answers? So anyway, make a long story short, my mom sees them calling me again, and the teachers, like, you know, the teachers that were doing it, they were kind of like going with the movie people and weren't really like giving my mom clear-cut answers when she was trying to find out what's going on. So my mom literally walks up to the director. She says she's done. She's done.
But I warned them though.
Okay.
You got it. I warned them, like, you know, I love these stories that Keke tell, and probably I've done 80% of what she said I done. But the part that's missing is the lead up to it. I always warn people. I don't go ballistic for no reason. I told them a whole week, she's not getting enough school. She's not getting enough school. And you know how people, we got it. We got it under control. And I just told him, I said, look, this cannot continue. Look at the irony of this.
Yeah, she wasn't doing it like this though, y'all.
I was like, but look at the irony of this. You guys are doing a movie about a little girl from South LA who's this smart little girl who can spell all these great big words, but the real actress is not getting her
proper
schooling.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we didn't get into this business to promote illiteracy. I mean, come on.
My mom was running around was like, I'm shut down. I'm calling SAG. I'm calling SAG. This is a problem. Now, SAG is the Screen Actors Guild. It's like what protects, it's like insurance for actors.
What?
She's going around, I'm calling SAG. I ain't raising no dummy. I ain't raising a dummy. I know what's going on with the business. I know what this stuff is about. She may be the star of the movie, but I need her to be the star in her life.
That's right.
She needs to be. My mom was going off on these people.
Well, I mean, I think...
I couldn't believe it, but let me just tell you, for me as a child, my mom is from the south suburbs. She never seen more than her street growing up, okay? Her street and maybe a little bit down further. Like, she's not this worldly type of person, but for her to go on that set in front of all of these people that have this education, that education, and these Lawrence Fishburne's on the set, Angela Bassett's on the set, all these people on the set, and she was not afraid to fight what was right for her kid.
And you know what?
Woo!
And I will say that Angela was amazing, and Lawrence was amazing, and Angela gave me great advice about the business, and so she's a lovely person. But I think that what Keke is saying, that it's overwhelming when you find yourself in a situation and like everybody's looking at your kid to do something. There is a fine line of, okay, am I gonna be mama now, or am I gonna be team player now? And I think at the end of the day, you have to just be a mama all the time. You have to.
What's up in style?
You have. Oh, no worries.
Sorry,
you have to protect your child. And I think that really what set me off. Like a lot of things, we protect our children from. Like a lot of stuff Keke didn't hear. Because, you know, I mean, I'm not going to go home every night and tell her every negative thing I hear or every weird thing that I hear. I think that what set me off and made me react that way is that one particular day, I was very upset that she didn't have school. And I went and talked to one of the producers. And it really wasn't the tutor's fault. We ended up having some really good tutors. It's just, you know, if they call it a set, they call it a set. But anyway, one of the producers pulled me to the side, and this very nice person, but what she said to me set me off, because what she said was, this movie is going to change your life forever. You're going to have more money, and you're going to be so happy. This is going to take your family out of the hood. I was like, what?
Girl, bye.
And so that's why I got mad, because I was like, well, first of all, who told you I was unhappy? Second of all, why would I sacrifice my child for any amount of money?
Exactly.
And thirdly, I like the hood.
Now get it, a hood and a bougie. Gucci on my, you heard it first. Oh my gosh, Mom, that's so funny.
One of my best Thanksgivings was spent in the hood, but that's another story.
Oh my gosh, that is so true. Yeah, that was good. That was
it. And so, like, and I never shared that with Keke, because I mean, she's a kid. You don't share things with people, every little thing. She had enough little kid, 11-year-old little kid, with the weight of the world on her shoulder. You know, everybody's looking for her to, you know, she's Akeela, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So I try my best to protect her, but it was tough. It was that tightrope of, when do you say enough is enough? When do you say stop shitting? When do you say she hasn't had her schooling? When do you say it's time for her to have lunch?
Yeah.
When do you say those things and not look like a bad stage mother or whatever? So I threw that out the window a long time ago and decided I was going to be the best mother. Mm-hmm. What anybody else thought about it.
Yeah. My nails are messed up. Don't look at them.
That's all right.
But yeah, so that's the Akeela B story about how my mom literally shut the set down to make sure that Akeela not only was smart on screen, but off screen too. And that's when we met my teacher, Miss Joanne, that taught
and that's what they did. They brought in, so we left the set that day, and when you leave a set, it costs a lot of money. So I wasn't even thinking like that. I was just thinking, I have to show these people that I mean business, but it costs a lot of money for me to take her home. But the next day, they hired a new teacher. There was a plan. Miss Joanne was spectacular. She had been a teacher for like Haley Joel Osment, I think Lindsay Lohan or somebody like that. But so she knew how to deal with families and teachers, the kids, and she turned
that
it
lady
around.
Was my teacher all the way from when I did Akeela and the Beat all the way to when I did True Jackson VP and graduated.
Yeah,
Miss Joanne,
kept the same teacher.
I love Miss Joanne. She always followed me everywhere. Every movie that we did, we asked if they could hire her, and they all hired her. So she's the best.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if there is any other story before I go on my next appointment that we can give the kids a gag with.
I don't know. I mean, we've had some adventures. You already told them about.
I already told him about Thinker when his teacher, your son told my son his was the size of Tic Tac. I will never forget that. I couldn't believe that woman said that.
Because, we were all sitting in the room so serious. We were all very serious, and we were talking. And I remember them, my son is tall. He's tall. He's been tall since he was in the 6th, 7th grade. And a lot of times when you big and you're tall, people label you. Oh, he's mean. He's a bully.
Hey, Jovan.
And all that stuff. He's never been a bully. He's always been very chill, very laid back kind of guy.
He's a little bit of a wisecracker.
Well, he's smart mouth, but he's not a bully. He can bully you. He'll say words, but he's not gonna hit you. But anyway, I just thought that they had. Sometimes people be too heavy on people. Anyway, to make a long story short,
I told them this story already.
We're all sitting in this room and. She said that. I mean, I could not stop laughing.
I know. That was hilarious.
I was like, oh no, she did say her son was the size of a Tic Tac.
It's crazy.
I was just like, okay.
Okay, so I'm trying to think. I want to save it for the next time too, but we have stories for days, and I just have to.
What happened on True Jackson? Anything happened on True Jackson? No.
Tons of stuff happened on True Jackson VP.
Yeah.
We had some stuff going on.
Not with me though, was it? Did I do anything? I don't think so.
No, you had started to calm down. The last time that you went off on anybody was Nights of the South Bronx.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you say going off on people.
Mom, you was cussing people out.
No,
you was cussing people out for the night.
I'm a cussing Christian. I'm a cussing Christian now.
My mom will cuss anybody out,
but
including any of y'all on this live right now.
No, but you can't tell the story about Twitter how I did.
I guess I didn't tell you. So for years, let me tell you how up to date Sharon was when it came to my career and what I was doing. She always said it's important for me to have publicity, and it's important for me to have digital marketing, because she wanted the world to know that there was a little black girl out here that was capable, like we all are capable, of doing the things that I'm doing. That's what she always said. She said, it's not about you, it's about representation.
It's
That's what it was
important that
about.
other people know they can do what you do and that it's possible.
Yeah.
Because I grew up watching Diana Ross and Donna Summers and all of those people. I knew it was possible. I knew there was a world beyond. Yeah. And I said you owe that to people as well, to show them that it is possible.
Yes, so she always worked to, she did my first website when I was 9 years old, and all this type of stuff like this. And so for a long time, I used to always have private accounts, like a private Instagram, a private Twitter, a private, Facebook, all that stuff I always had private of. And then, when Twitter first came around, my mom was the main person that's you got to get on Twitter. Twitter is a new thing. And I'm like, Mom, Twitter's a new thing. Don't nobody want to be on Twitter. And then eventually I started getting into it with my friends. But at first it just seemed okay, these people is on Twitter. I don't care about Twitter. And then all my friends started getting into Twitter. So I was like, oh, Twitter is bomb. I made my own private account. And then one of my friends one day is like, have you ever gone to your Twitter page? And I was like, what you mean my Twitter page? She's like, your brand Twitter page, Keke Palmer page. I was like, oh, I don't care about that page. My mom runs it or whatever like that. And they were like, oh, you have this such and such many followers on there. I'm like, what? I got a lot of followers on there? What? And this is when the follower
like
thing
a
really
fan site,
freaking like
yeah.
mattered or whatever like that. And so, or to me at that time, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And so tell me why I go onto the page. And I see that I'm calling somebody a bitch. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I'm looking at the convo and my mom is like, no, you're a bald headed. Like going back and forth with somebody on the page. Like the girl is like, you're whack. I don't like your movies. I'm like, do you know how to act? Like my mom is going back and forth with the kids. And I said, Mom, these are kids. I literally went to her room and banging on her door like, Mom, what's going on? Holding my phone. What's going on? What is going on with you?
Look,
I'm like, these are kids, Sharon.
I don't care nothing about being
kids.
If you gonna go on Twitter and talk ridiculousness and say derogatory things
too much
about people you don't even know, then look, that's not fair. That ain't fair. You are anonymous in your basement, living in your mama's basement.
My mom was going off.
And you're attacking people that have the courage. At least on Keke's page, it's her face. You know who the hell she is. But then when you anonymous and you make up fake pages and then you attack people, be brave enough to say who the hell you really are.
Sharon was
because that pissed me off. I don't care nothing about you not liking me. I don't care nothing about that because Jesus likes me. What I care about is that you're going to attack me for some you don't even know what you're talking about. And then you're going to act like you have said something. Just because social media exists don't mean everybody should use it.
My mom will
don't mean everybody should have a voice.
Hey, DeAndre.
Don't mean everybody is right. It just means your ass is lonely and you decide you want to post.
I literally had to knock on my mom's door. I had to literally tell her, she's like, Keke, I'm sorry, but they're talking about my daughter. You're my baby. You're my baby. They're talking about my daughter. I had to let them know. And I'm like, Mom, but it's me, love. They don't know that it's my mom.
You know what? I didn't get that part. But I've always admired you for that. Because it takes a strong person to read.
Hey, Quelly.
To read things about themselves that is just a lie. That is just an outright exaggeration. Mm-hmm. And for them to be able to turn the other cheek. I've not been able to do that. But I'm not Keke Palmer. But I've seen lies and exaggerations. And it does hurt me because I know how much you give. I know how much of yourself you give to humanity. And how you've given up half your life to entertain people. So yeah, it does me off when I read things. People don't have to like you because I don't like a lot of people.
Yeah, you don't.
But I respect them. But I respect people. I mean, I don't like every singer or every dancer or every entertainer, but I acknowledge their talent. I give them props for trying. I don't like nobody sitting at home who ain't never tried anything who's gonna attack you. So I will always defend you for that. You changed your password, but if I had your passwords, I would defend you. Now, I don't care about nobody saying they don't like you or you're ugly. That's fine. You can say that stupid stuff. But when people just outright lie and then when they make, misjudgments about your career, you don't know what we've turned down. You don't know projects that we refuse to do. You don't know money that we passed.
Stop.
You don't know. You don't know.